Hey, it's Michael Cohen here. Look, everybody is talking about what Donald Trump is saying these days, the insane ramblings, as they said in the movie Young Frankenstein. It's the nonsensical rantings of a lunatic mind. All right, I don't even want to discuss it yet. Let's go to the clips as examples.
And ABC, they have George Stopalopoulos. I call him Slopadopoulos. George Stopalopoulos. I said, George, I've had you up to here. You got to start telling the truth. Joe Biden's granting mass thinking. He's going to formally grant, and it must be because of MIT, my relationship to MIT. Very smart. He goes, I say, what would happen if the boat sank from its weight, and you're in the boat, and you have this tremendously powerful battery, and the battery's now underwater, and there's a shark that's approximately 10 yards over there. By the way, a lot of shark attacks lately. Do you notice that? A lot of shark. I watched some guys justifying it today. Well, they weren't really that angry. They bit off the young lady's leg because of the fact that they were not hungry, but they misunderstood who she was. These people are crazy. He said there's no problem with sharks. They just didn't really understand a young woman swimming now really got decimated, and other people too. A lot of shark attacks. So I said, so there's a shark 10 yards away from the boat, 10 yards, or here. Do I get electrocuted? If the boat is sinking, water goes over the battery, the boat is sinking. Do I stay on top of the boat and get electrocuted? Or do I jump over by the shark and not get electrocuted? Because I will tell you, he didn't know the answer. He said, nobody's ever asked me that question. I said, I think it's a good question. I think there's a lot of electric current coming through that water. But you know what I'd do if there was a shark or you get electrocuted? I'll take electrocution every single time. I'm not getting near the shark. So we're going to end that. We're going to end it for boats. We're going to end it for trucks. The trucks. Has anyone ever seen The Silence of the Lambs? The late, great Hannibal Lecter. He's a wonderful man. He oftentimes would have a friend for dinner.
We can go on and on and on. Every single day there appears to be these type of gaffes, these sort of rantings that make absolutely no sense. Don't take my word for it. Just look at the faces of the people in the crowd. Here they came. They're clearly interested in knowing about the economy and climate change and work and, the economy and how things are going to move forward, the wars that are going on between Russia, Ukraine, between Israel and Hamas. I mean, these are the things that are on people's minds. The CHIPS Act, the Infrastructure Act, and on and on and on. They want to hear what Donald Trump is going to say about immigration and migrants. No, he wants to talk about the late, great Hannibal Lecter. First of all, let me be clear. Hannibal Lecter is not a real person. He is a character that is played by Anthony Hopkins in Silence of the Lambs. In fact, we'd all like Donald Trump to be silent, but that's not going to work. He's going to keep talking. The folks behind him are sitting there scratching their head and saying, what the hell is this man talking about? This guy who's going to be the presumptive nominee for one of our two political parties, for the GOP, for the Republican Party. This man who's talking about Hannibal Lecter, who's talking about boats that are run on battery that are going to, if they sink, it electrifies the water. First of all, if he had any idea what he's talking about, he has to understand the only way to electrify the water is there has to be an ongoing running current. It's not that you submerge a battery and the water becomes electrified, but that's not bad enough. He now has to introduce sharks, right? All right. And now he wants everybody to know how smart he is because there have been some shark attacks in Florida by the coastline, et cetera, et cetera. All right. All of a sudden, he puts the two of them together. And the people that are there in the audience, again, are saying, seriously? This guy has lost his mind. Now, look, I'm not a psychiatrist. I'm not a psychotherapist. I'm not a medical doctor. However, I've been reading a lot of stuff about what's going on. There are many who are making the claim that Donald Trump is suffering. Now, I don't know to what degree, and I don't want to make a medical prognosis here, that he is suffering some form of frontotemporal dementia. All right. And if you look, and I Googled it and I started reading onto it after I read the articles, it has to do with his gait. It has to do with his posture. It has to do with the allegations of his incontinence. It has to do with the rantings and the ramblings of insanity. These are all diagnoses of frontotemporal dementia. I wouldn't be shocked. I wouldn't be to some form. It just makes perfect sense. Look, I knew Donald Trump for in excess of a decade, closer to a decade and a half. And I want to be very clear about it. When I started working from 2007 all the way through 2017. In fact, I actually started before that. It was more like 2005. When I was working for him, I can assure you, nothing like this ever came out of his mouth. Now, he said racist, sexist, misogynistic, xenophobic, homophobic, Islamophobic, anti-Semitic crap. That he did. He was nasty. He could be very mean. He could also be very charming and very pleasant too. But he never said crazy shit like this. He didn't talk about, windmills. He didn't talk about electric boats. He didn't talk about electrifying water by submerging boats or sharks or Hannibal Lecter. These aren't things that he did, and nor did he have the thing where you may remember in the clip, right? What's going on there? There's something really going on. And when I tell you that Donald Trump is great at what's called projection, he knows that he's got some issues going. So what does he do? Like what he does with everything, he projects it onto the next guy, talking about President Biden, how President Biden is suffering from dementia. We all know what Donald Trump does. Do not let him fool you, all right? None of this against Joe Biden has been proven at all. In fact, to the contrary, you see Joe Biden getting stronger and stronger, literally from the State of the Union all the way to the most recent G7 summit. So, my friends, when Donald Trump tells you something, you need to think twice.
Hey everyone, first of all, thanks for watching. We're going to be posting daily episodes with reactions and talking about politics. We'll be talking about everything, in fact. So please like and subscribe. Join us on this journey.